All right, jumping right into it. Deep dive time. And today we're tackling financial synergies.
Sounds good.
You sent over a pretty fascinating collection of notes and articles.
Hmm.
Looks like you're really trying to get a handle on this whole partnership thing, how companies can team up,
Right.
and make something even better together, like way better than they could on their own.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like, imagine baking a cake.
Okay, I like where this is going.
You got your flour, your sugar, all the separate ingredients, right?
Yeah.
But it's how they come together
Just synergy.
that makes it something special. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That's what we're talking about
I like that, a financial cake.
here.
And speaking of recipes,
Yeah.
your sources really dig into the different types of these synergies.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the classic, cost savings.
Sure.
I mean, everyone's heard of economies of scale, right?
Yeah.
But your notes actually brought up some interesting points I hadn't thought about before.
What's really interesting is that economies of scale, it's not just about producing more stuff to lower the cost per unit.
Oh, there's more to it.
There are different, you could say, flavors of it.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
So one of your articles, it talks about this company that merged with a competitor,
All right, classic move.
and bam, suddenly they had this huge buying power. They could negotiate way better prices for all their raw materials.
Ah, I see. So it's like strength in numbers.
Exactly. It's purchasing economies of scale, and that can completely change the game for a business.
Makes sense. Now, I'm thinking focusing only on cutting costs. That might not be the most exciting way to actually grow, right?
Well,
Your research also digs into the revenue side of things.
absolutely, you're right. Cost savings, that's like protecting what you already have.
Right.
But revenue enhancement, that's about making the whole pie bigger.
Expanding.
Expanding, exactly. There's this fascinating case study in one of your sources about a software company.
Mm-hmm.
They bought up this smaller company specialized in customer relationship management, CRM.
CRM. Crucial these days.
And by integrating that system, into their existing product, they were able to offer a much broader solution.
So they basically leveled up.
Totally.
Yeah.
And unlocked a whole new stream of revenue.
Smart move. So it's
Yeah.
not just selling more of the same old stuff. It's about creating something new and valuable.
Exactly.
That appeals to more people. That's how you get that sustainable growth,
You
right?
just got it.
Now, not every company can just go around buying other companies.
Mm-hmm.
Some need a different approach. Your research also talks about partnerships and how they can boost financial strength.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sometimes teaming up with a company that's already financially solid, it benefits everyone.
Interesting. How so?
Well, there was this example in one of your articles, a startup. They partnered with a big established bank
Makes sense.
to offer financial services to their customer base. And through that partnership, they didn't just get new revenue. They got access to the bank's credit rating and better borrowing power. Instantly boosted their financial stability.
Wow, that's a clever way to leverage existing relationships. Really smart. Now, one thing that stood out to me in your notes was risk diversification. That's important for everyone's, right?
Absolutely crucial.
It's like that old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
That applied to business.
One of your sources looked at a manufacturing company, and they actually acquired a company in a totally different industry.
Oh, interesting. So they branched out.
It balanced their portfolio, right?
Right.
Made them less vulnerable to, if one market takes a hit.
Right.
Or the economy goes wonky.
Yeah, like a safety net. So we've got cost savings, we've got revenue, financial strength, and risk diversification. All these big picture things. But your research also mentioned some other benefits like tax advantages, right?
Yeah, definitely. One of those articles went deep into the whole world of tax strategies after a merger. It can get pretty complex.
In fact.
But there are some interesting things companies can do. Like they might be able to use something called loss carryforwards from a previous deal to actually offset future profits.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty significant benefit, lowering their tax burden, right?
Big time.
And then there's accessing new markets. I imagine that's a pretty big motivator for a lot of companies.
For sure. There were several examples in your sources of companies expanding their reach geographically or tapping into new customer segments, all through these strategic partnerships.
Got it.
There was one case study that really stood out. It was about this domestic retailer
Okay.
partnered with a global e-commerce platform.
Ah, so they went international.
Exactly. They went from local to global overnight, something they could never have done on their own.
So let me recap. We've got cost savings, revenue enhancement, boosted financial strength, risk diversification, tax benefits, and entering new markets.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else we should be thinking about? Any other big synergies?
Well, Your notes did mention improved efficiency.
Oh, right. Efficiency. Streamlining things.
Exactly. Sometimes merging entities can actually streamline their operations, get rid of redundancies, and optimize processes.
I see.
There was an article about a company that cut their overhead costs significantly by combining their IT infrastructure after a merger.
So finding those efficiencies, that can be a huge advantage in today's world.
Absolutely, especially with all the competition.
And of course, we can't forget the human side of all this.
Right.
Combining the talents and expertise of different teams, that can lead to some serious innovation.
Oh, totally. When you bring together different perspectives, different skills, and different experiences, it sparks creativity and can lead to, those breakthrough solutions.
Right. It's greater than the sum of its parts.
Exactly. One source even argued that this talent synergy, that's the most valuable thing that comes out of a merger, even more than the financial gains.
Really? So the human element is key. So if we put it all together, better finances, a diversified portfolio, a strong team, all that's got to make the combined company more appealing to investors, right?
100%. All of that boosts investor confidence,
Yes.
attracts new capital, which in turn fuels even more growth. There were several examples in your research of companies whose valuations just skyrocketed after they started making use of financial synergies.
Okay, so it's clear that financial synergies, super powerful stuff. But like any business strategy, there are always things to watch out for, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. One of the biggest takeaways from your research is that synergies don't just magically happen.
Right. It takes work.
It takes planning, due diligence, really understanding the market and the companies involved, because things can go wrong.
Yeah, like what?
Cultural clashes, integration challenges, or the market could just shift unexpectedly. All those things can derail even the most promising partnership.
Makes sense. It's like any relationship, it takes work to make it succeed.
Right.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I have a question for you to think about. Looking at your own situation right now, what kind of financial synergies might be possible for you? And what steps can you take to explore those opportunities?
Good questions.
Whether it's partnering up, acquiring a business, or even just streamlining things internally, there are so many ways to make those synergies work for you and drive real growth.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about finding the right recipe.
Just like that cake we talked about.
Exactly.
All right, that's our deep dive on financial synergies for today.
Great discussion.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me.
Anytime.
All right, until next time.
See you then.